One question I always end up getting, whether I post a new YouTube video, new design, or a new TikTok, is how I got started as a content creator. Now, rather than get back to you guys with a long story short DM that's only a few lines of a message, I wanted to make a full-length YouTube video so you guys can know my full story, and for anyone that just wants to know in general. I figured what better place to actually film this video than right in front of my Do What You Love sign in the stream studio. Now, if you guys actually do want to stop in my Twitch streams, a reminder that it is twitch.tv/homescope. Link is down in the description below, and I'm live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday nights. So if you guys have any questions for me, that's where you'll find me. Okay, so starting off, about 12 years ago, I want to say, I started making YouTube videos, but they were all based around skateboarding stuff. So my friends and I would actually go out skateboarding, and I got hooked with the bug very early on. I did it for about 10 years, but during that time, we were always making skate videos, and I always ended up being the one that was filming and editing the videos, and some of my friends helped out as well, but it was something that I actually took very passionately and wanted to get better at. Granted, now looking back, they weren't really that good at all, but it was something that I instantly got hooked on, and I absolutely loved the creative process of creating videos. Now, during that time, you couldn't always get the best skate tricks, do exactly what you want to do, and it would take a big toll on your body trying to skate and film at the same time. So when we weren't skating, I ended up getting into fingerboarding, which is basically these little skateboards, actually like real like miniature skateboards. And so I would use these with different obstacles and stuff, and actually have my camera set up on my desk. I'd be doing a bunch of tricks and stuff like I would in skateboarding, but without actually getting completely exhausted. I'd be able to make actually some really cool creative videos. And it was really fun. Now, during this time, we would play a lot of Skate 2, Skate 3, so we would film ourselves playing these video games while making these fingerboard videos, but the video quality was just so awful that I never ended up doing anything with it. I didn't really like the quality of the video, I didn't like how it came out, and I just scrapped it. And to be honest, I kind of regret getting rid of those videos. Now, mind you, my whole life I had been a gamer. I mean, one of my earliest memories is when my mom would go to bed, I'd be very young, my dad would sneak in the PlayStation 1 into my bedroom so I could play the original Grand Theft Auto while she was asleep. So I guess you could say I've been in it for a while, and I have a lot to thank for my dad and my brother who really got me into a lot of these video games and have kept me really getting me into this community that no one really even knew existed prior to YouTube and the internet. It wasn't until high school that I started getting into graphic design and realized that this could be an actual potential career position. And I mean, during that time, you never thought that gaming or video editing at that point even was even something that could really take off as a career. So I kind of figured graphic design would be a better route for that. And I kind of had some experience with Adobe programs because I did them for some video editing stuff back in the skate days. And then I started learning Photoshop in high school, and I got hooked. I absolutely loved doing graphic design work, and it was just slowly becoming a passion of mine. I think it was just more so just another creative route, another creative outlet for me. Sure enough, you fast forward through those high school years, and I started really getting into graphic design and even wanted to go get a degree for it. So during all this time, I was running cross country and track and field and doing well enough that I ended up getting a scholarship at a D2 school and ended up going to that school for graphic design. Now, during that time in college, I was studying graphic design, marketing, and advertising, but also just had this amazing camaraderie with all my teammates on the cross country and track and field teams. And one of the things that we played almost every single night was FIFA. I took a big step away from all the shooters that I've been playing my whole life, like all the Call of Duty games, and we started playing FIFA a lot. I mean, every single night with these guys, it was very, very competitive, and I absolutely loved the environment. During my downtime in college, I ended up watching a lot of YouTube videos that are based around gaming, so I ended up watching the Vanoss videos. Basically, I do work, Wildcat, and one person that really, really caught my inspiration was Smitty, who was friends with all these guys, and I thought he was absolutely hilarious, and his editing style was bar none the best in the YouTube gaming space, in my personal opinion. He inspired me so much that I made my very first gaming YouTube video, and it was awful. So I ended up not having any equipment. I couldn't film on my console or anything like that, so I decided to play Slither.io on my MacBook and screen record that, I think using OBS. I didn't even know what OBS was at the time, and it was just some of the worst gameplay I think anyone could ever have. But I still cherish that video because it was the very first one that I ever made. What's this guy's name? Snake Smacker? I'm about to smack his snake. Now, right then, there were people actually commenting on the video that were part of the gaming space, and I felt really, really welcomed right off the start, and I absolutely loved it. But unfortunately, life kind of got in the way, and there were things that kind of took priority over trying to make any sort of gaming video, and it took up a lot of time, so I didn't think that this is something that I actually wanted to necessarily look forward to. Toward the end of my undergrad at college, I started my own clothing company that was called Version A Apparel, and it was another creative outlet for me, and I really enjoyed it and loved creating designs for it. And it's still up. I haven't really done much with it, but it's something that I definitely want to work with in the future, and especially with what we're doing here, I think I want to start making designs all based around the gaming scene. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what we can come up with and actually bringing this thing back. But that's not part of today's story. The main thing is that right after Version A, some real life shit started kicking in. I started realizing, okay, I'm graduating college, and there were a lot of personal things going on at the time. One thing that I fell back into was Call of Duty, and at this time, World War II had just came out. I absolutely loved the feeling of sniping on World War II. It kind of felt like old school COD. And so one thing that I was doing was trying to get clips on Call of Duty so I could post them on Twitter and stuff. And I made my own gaming Twitter and everything. And that's where Homescope was born. You take my last name, Holmes, and then scope from like this like quick scoping, you know, and I just put them together. And I thought that's what I was gonna do, was make like quick scoping videos just for fun. Little did I know that just 2 months later, my friends would be asking me to play this little game called Fortnite. And man, oh man, we all know what happened there. Thankfully, with inspirations like Nick, Mercs, and Ninja, I mean, at the time I was a console player, so the controller thing with Nick, obviously became a huge fan of his, and then Ninja's personality during that time was bar none some of the most entertaining gaming that I think anyone's ever seen. I felt so inspired by Nick and Ninja that I ended up deciding to try Twitch streaming myself. Now, I had already known Twitch streaming before because of basically I Do Work and Smitty and all those guys, but I never thought that that would actually be anything that I would even want to try out necessarily. Live content just kind of wasn't my thing at all. But I told a few friends, they told a few friends. Sure enough, my first stream went up. I'm streaming right from a PS4 and a PS4 camera, and I got 14 viewers, and I was more nervous than I've ever been in my entire life. And that ended up being a really fun stream, and right there, I just caught the bug. All I wanted to do was just stream every single night, try to put on a show for an audience, and the first night we had 14 viewers, next day we had 5, and the next day we had 3. So for those next few years, I didn't really know much about Twitch, didn't know exactly how to go about it as far as content goes. All I thought was I had to grind Fortnite, become one of the best players that I could possibly be, and just consistently stream, and hopefully people will just flood in. And boy, was I wrong. For the next 2.5 years, I was averaging 3 to 5 viewers. And that's it. No putting any content out there, maybe a couple clips out there on Twitter, hoping that something kind of catches on, but nothing ever did. Thankfully, during this time though, I met some of my closest friends in gaming, people that I would have absolutely never met, and it's because of Fortnite that I meet some of my most loyal viewers now and some of my most loyal friends that I'll have for an absolute lifetime. And God bless you guys. I can't believe that some of my friends that I have now even stuck with me through some of those streams, man. It was an interesting time. Now, during that time in Fortnite though, I would actually create my own overlays, and I kept changing. I always kept rebranding myself, trying to make the stream better, the stream quality better in any sort of way, whether that was actually buying new equipment, but it always ended up being my graphic design stuff always kind of kept creeping in. Some of these friends have started taking notice that I was actually making all these designs myself and started making these overlays, and I was actually getting better at it because it was kind of different than what I had been studying in college. I hadn't really learned much about like the streaming platforms and the way that you have to actually design stuff for that. And so as I'm getting better and better and better, my friends are saying, hey, listen, you got a lot going on here. You need to start actually making some design content. What I had seen in my own personal experience is that designers hadn't really made much of content. It was just kind of putting their work out there, and it was hard for someone to actually be a personality. Where me, personality came first. I wanted to be the guy in front of the camera, and I wanted to make entertaining content. And I didn't know if you could really do that with design. So I always said, no, I don't want to do design content at all. All I want to focus on is being a good content creator and having the design stuff just kind of be on the side for fun. And once I started getting more and more of my friends suggesting me, dude, you gotta make design content, eventually I just said, you know what, fine, I'll put some stuff out there. I put a couple of those YouTube videos out there and they didn't do too well. And it just didn't feel right trying to make like tutorial types of videos, because that's all that you really saw from designers at the time. Now, during this time, I ended up getting my full-time job that I was working at before COVID hit. And right when it did, I ended up losing my full-time job. I was working as a graphic designer at a travel agency. And now it was like, okay, well, this really sucks. There's no income, but at least I can focus on content. I used this time during COVID to actually reflect on what I wanted to do with my own personal brand and actually go the distance and make this an actual thing. Of course, I actually listened to all my friends, all the advice they had been giving me, and I started making design content that was kind of fun. And I started doing this on TikTok because it had really been capturing my eye. I had a few friends and a few people from my hometown that were actually really getting a following and actually really becoming big off of using TikTok. And it really intrigued me because I'm like, all right, here's a social media platform where the growth and the algorithm is on crack compared to everything else. Thankfully for me, I had been watching a lot of alpha gaming YouTube videos, and shout out Harris for always telling everyone to make content outside of Twitch to grow your Twitch channel. And once I found TikTok and saw how quick it was growing on there, I said, I need to get on this right now. So I kept putting out this feeler content on TikTok to see what people's reactions would be to my design videos and how they would kind of feel about it. I would put like gaming tags in there just to get the gaming industry involved, but actually have the content be around design and gaming. And for the most part, people liked it a lot. Some of these early videos got like, I want to say 1,000 or 2,000 views, but the thing is that this is more views than I had gotten on any piece of content I had made before this, especially when it came to design. Once that started happening and there started getting a little bit of traction, I was like, all right, I could do something with this. And from stuff that I learned from all my marketing classes, videos I've watched, real work in the field, my clothing company, one thing that I learned that always works is you give away something in your content and you grow a following off of that. So whether that's an actual product, a service, education, anything like that, you just make it so you're actually giving something to the viewer, no monetization gained, and eventually something comes back to you from doing that. Knowing that this is kind of where I had to go, I started making some free webcam overlays, and there was a free Among Us one that I made, a free Christmas webcam overlay that I made during Christmas time, and people absolutely loved it. These videos started doing really, really well, and I was like, whoa, okay, something's really happening right now. And then I made this free alert package. It was just alerts that were made in 3D because I knew that alerts weren't easy to find for people, and these ones were very unique because I actually made them these really cool 3D designs, and that one immediately blew up and now I think has like 50,000 views. Once it got up to like 10,000 views, I knew I had something really, really good here and I need to capitalize on it. Now, during the time I would make this content, I was still streaming at the same time, but I had a strict schedule. So I'd stream Monday, Wednesday, and Friday nights. I still have that schedule now, but it left me this free time in between streaming to actually create content outside of it. And I recommend that you do that as well. Thankfully, taking this route really paid off. I started making all these free designs for streamers, and it wasn't until that I started making Naruto themed stuff that it absolutely blew up. I mean, the very first Naruto video got 100,000 views. I think the second one just did recently. This is all on TikTok, and oh my God, people absolutely loved it. Man, does it feel good that people are actually using my designs and that people like them. And not only that, I would always plug my Twitch streams into these videos. So then my Twitch stream actually started growing. It was crazy. It was like almost like, okay, well, I've been told all this advice that this is supposed to work, but it's actually working. I mean, just recently, it's been absolutely incredible to see that from putting out this free content for people that there's actually people that are coming in and wanting to see what I actually do on my streams. And not only that, but I'm consistently trying to make my stream better and make it more entertaining for the people that do come in there, for all the new people. So it's a constant growth experience. And it's just been absolutely incredible, especially over the past few months. Now, I'm nowhere near where I want to be yet, but I'm absolutely grateful for where we are right now. And seeing this absolute growth over the past few months has been really incredible, and I'm very blessed to be in this position. I mean, gaining some of these numbers, 10K followers on TikTok, I got 2K subscribers on YouTube, and a Discord that has 5K members, and on Twitch, I'm even averaging 20 viewers, which at the surface level doesn't really seem like much, but as we all know, getting viewers on Twitch consistently is very, very hard. But I mean, averaging that number, and compared to my very first stream ever getting 14 viewers on a PS4 stream, we've come a long way. Now, these numbers are great milestones to have because they keep you intact with actually how you're doing, but they aren't everything. One thing that I have learned from doing all this, and one thing that I hope that you can at least take away from this whole video, is that you should always work on creating better content. The numbers will come later, but just focus on always improving your content, making it better in some way. Always focus on creating better quality content and better storytelling, whether that's on your Twitch streams, whether that's in your videos, whether that's on your TikToks. Just always focus on that rather than what number comes next. Because the numbers don't mean anything if you're not putting out something that you love and that you put your heart into. All right, guys, I hope that you guys did enjoy my story. Leave a like if you did, and leave a comment down below what part you most enjoyed. And if you guys want to follow my Twitch stream, please feel free to do so. I'm live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Links down in the description below. I usually start off with just like an hour of just chatting before we actually get into the gaming part. So if you guys have any questions for me, or if you want to talk to me in general, that's the best place to find me. That's it for today's video, guys. I really do hope that you did enjoy it, and I'll catch you in the next one. Love, peace, and chicken grease.